It could be the next Sex in the City. Like Carrie Bradshaw, Hollis Gillespie is a newspaper columnist who writes about her quirky friends. And Hollywood is more than a little interested in Hollis's frantic life. Somebody get this girl some Geritol. Meet Hollis Gillespie, busy flight attendant and single mom.
Get away!
In her spare time, she writes a humor column, records commentary for National Public Radio, solves world problems while tending bar, jets to Tinseltown for power meetings with Hollywood bigwigs, promotes her latest book, and still finds time to hang out with her 3 best friends. How does she do it?
I really don't think about it, but it's possible to do, and I promise you this much: I'm not even doing it up to. I believe that I have the potential to do more.
You get how many hours of sleep a night?
Oh, I'm thinking about it now.
So, Larry, you've been missed around the local.
A TV show based on her life is in the works, and the characters rival anything you ever saw on Seinfeld or Sex in the City.
She hasn't sucked his identity out of him.
At The Local, a Ponce de Leon bar owned by her boyfriend, Hollis Gillespie listens in disbelief as friends Grant Henry and Larry Blodgett discuss AA.
You are in the program. Does she know you're drinking now?
Yeah, I told her. That's why she got told me, I think.
Larry's girlfriend, it seems, is trying to rehabilitate him, and Grant has a problem with that.
You're not ending this relationship. Don't let Grant talk you into that.
He's not saying I'm ending it.
I'm not saying, but that's the first step in getting your courage back to be who you are. And he's Larry.
The material quickly finds its way into Hollis Gillespie's work.
Larry, is there a verb form to the word taxidermy, do you think?
Fueled by a half-eaten bowl of honeycomb cereal, she molds Larry's dilemma into a wry lesson in life.
Because I'm thinking maybe your girlfriend taxidermied your cat. And that's what happened to Mona. She might not really be faking her own death this time.
Hollis Gillespie's column, Mood Swing, appears in the alternative weekly newspaper Creative Loafing. The columns, almost always hilarious, sometimes bittersweet, cover everything from missing human torsos and murdered policemen to the backwards lessons she learned from her late parents.
My mother was a missile scientist who made bombs, and my dad was an alcoholic traveling trailer salesman.
As much as you joke about it, there's real pain in your eyes when you talk about it.
The pain was watching this man who had big dreams, you know, and he just allowed his fears to be bigger. In our household, you know, the atmosphere was just weighted by disappointment.
Her mother, who turned to kleptomania, wasn't that happy either.
She didn't want to be a missile scientist.
She wanted to be a cosmetologist?
Yeah.
A hairdresser?
She had broken dreams of becoming a beautician.
Determined not to have broken dreams herself, Hollis majored in English.
Even when I graduated, I remember my professor telling me, "Oh, here's your degree and good luck. You know, it's gonna come in handy when you're selling those Xerox copiers."
She may not be a rocket scientist like her mother, but Hollis Gillespie was smart enough to realize she probably wouldn't be able to support herself as a humorist, at least not at first. And so, although she is afraid to fly, she applied for a job as a flight attendant.
Yummy!
Having moved 18 times by the time she graduated from high school, Hollis lived in everything from a penthouse in Zurich to a trailer 2 miles north of Tijuana. But in-town Atlanta is where she finally found a home.
I can talk to ambassadors in their own language, and I can run over crack addicts in my neighborhood.
Yes, there's a story there. One she repeated to none other than Jay Leno when he invited her on The Tonight Show to promote her first book.
Okay, and explain the title. Bleachy-haired honky bitch.
I almost ran down a crack addict in my neighborhood, and that's what he got mad at me. And called, yeah.
Your neighbor called you that as you tried to run over him, huh?
He was the customer of the crack dealer down the street, and I am so glad I didn't hit him, because they really don't take it too kindly when you kill their customers there.
As always, there's a hint of seriousness just beneath the humor.
The first book was buying the house. It turns out, you know, I buy it in a neighborhood, one of the worst neighborhoods in Atlanta. And then I find out I'm pregnant. Who's the boy that you kissed?
Daughter May, now nearly 5, is the true love of Hollis Gillespie's life and the heart of her second book.
Why did you kiss him?
Because I like him.
And the second book, I have the baby in the crack neighborhood. This is a little absurd where I'm trying to bulletproof the baby's room, and all I've got are like cake pans to put up in the window. And I mean, it's not all, you know, fun and giggles, you know. I mean, it was pretty tough. The title, Confessions of a Recovering Slut, kind of comes in the middle of the book where I do have the child, and I all of a sudden realize, you know, my life is different. I don't, you know, I have to change.
Recovery.
Because former just has such a note of finality about it. Whereas recovering, there's room for slippage. And that's important.
Put your arm at the edge and cover it. Elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist.
Oh,
Just come on, Park Parade. We only have one block. Can we see?
no! Thanks, officer.
Thank you. It was a transvestite call. Woo!
Hollis relies heavily on this eclectic trio to help her raise May, and it's sometimes a wild ride.
Don't believe anything you read. Oh, honey, you know Grant Henry, Daniel Tropy, and Larry Blodgett are going to go to Hollywood and try out to play themselves. They are going to audition to play their own damn self on the show. And I love that because they are not going to get the part.
It's beautiful. Look at the palm trees. Now, this is California.
Now, Hollywood is calling.
Looks so good.
I do.
You look like you did back when you were hot.
Paramount is actively developing a television series based on Hollis Gillespie's 2 books, and it looks like the show may soon end up on HBO. Details are being kept under wraps for now, but an actress whose name you most definitely would recognize is pursuing the lead role.
I can't, I hate to say it, I can't tell you who it is. Okay. But I can't tell you who it is, but she's interested, and she's never done TV before. She's a movie star. I'm catching up.
Hollis wants to stay grounded. She says she won't move to L.A. and has no intention of leaving her job at Delta, where fellow flight attendants seem to enjoy having a celebrity of sorts in their midst.
They get excited. They're going, we're going to be on the cart. We're going to look up, and it's going to be your movie on the screen. And I'm like, oh yeah, and I'll be on the other side of the cart with ya. Going, there's my movie on the screen.
Monica Kaufman Close-Ups, brought to you by the Georgia Lottery Corporation, contributing over $7 billion to education in Georgia.